So I just watched Hereditary for the 1 millionth time in my life, and I realized something. This movie isn't about grief. I mean, it is, but that's not what kept me up at night. What kept me up was something way darker, something way more sinister. And if you want to find out what that is, keep watching the video and I'll explain to you. I want to be very, very clear. Grief is the absolute central theme to this movie. Toni Collette's performance as Annie, chef's kiss. But today, I want to talk about something else. Something I think is the actual engine of the horror in this film. Something that gets glossed over, and it's this. The Graham family was doomed from the start. Not doomed because of the bad choices that they made. Not doomed because they didn't communicate. Not doomed because of generational trauma. I mean, it has a little bit to do with generational trauma. But those things are real, but the movie is telling us something way more unsettling. Outside of just grief. It's telling us that an otherworldly force had already planned their destruction before any of them were ever even born. The first clue is the grandmother, Ellen. She's dead when the movie starts, but her presence, it is felt everywhere. And let me tell you, you really do feel it. And here's the thing, this wasn't a last minute plan. This was the long game, okay? Decades in the making. She raised Charlie as her own. She pushed Charlie toward Paimon. She of a cult that had been working towards a specific goal, crowning Paimon as the king of hell and a male host for who knows how many generations. I believe that the script mentions that Ella's own father had similar plans for her brother, so this is literally generational trauma at its finest. This is a chain that goes back further than any of us can see. You see, the horror isn't just something bad's happening. It's that this is completely orchestrated for many generations by something patient enough to wait, by something that's been planting seeds way before any of the family members were even born. Let's talk about Charlie. Okay, let's just be honest. From the moment she's on screen, she's off. The clicking noise, the way she stares. Oh God, after I see that movie, I keep doing that. The way she seems disconnected from the world around her. I mean, that's the weird bird cutting scene. I mean, and that's because Charlie was never really Charlie. Paimon had been placed inside of her from the beginning. And not just, I'm not talking about the beginning of the movie, I mean, but since she was born, and the grandmother made sure of that. Charlie wasn't a person who got possessed later like I thought that this movie was going to be. She was a vessel from birth. Everything about her, her behavior, her strangeness, her weird connection to her grandmother was parts of the design. Every single thing the family did to try to save themselves actually moved them closer to their destruction. Anne tries a seance, which opens the door wider. Steve tries to be rational, and throws out the occult items, and that leads to his death. Peter tries to distance himself from the family, and that isolation just pushes him further and further towards Paimon, spiritually and mentally breaking him, which is what Paimon wanted. Here is what they don't teach you in high school or in college. And let's just be honest, most of us learn this lesson very late. And you want to know what that lesson is? You can do everything right, and you can still lose. I know this feeling all too well. So, around 2 years ago, I had applied for this position at a very prestigious company that I was perfect for. And I had connections within the company, and they had been trying to get me to come to this company for a long time. They were trying to get me over from other companies, but it just never really lined up. But I was looking for new work opportunities. They wanted to hire me. I was super excited about the position. It's very rare that you find a job where your resume and the position line up almost perfectly. Like I said, I had some ends with the company. The managers were vouching to me, to the hiring managers, to the owners of the company, saying, hey, this guy's legit. This is our guy. We like him a lot. So basically, of course, with any position, you have to go through the formal interview process. And this was a 4-step interview process, each one an hour long. That's not including the phone interview at the very beginning, right? Like I said, I'm really good friends with the manager, so I'm thinking I'm gonna get the job. So first interview happens, my manager friend hits me up, hey, they're gonna ask you this. And I'm like, all right, bet. So I answer this, knocked it out the park. Second interview, my friend who's the manager calls me again. He's like, hey, so then this one they're gonna do this. And I said, okay, now I'm gonna answer like this. Okay, then guess what? Knocked it out of the parks. And the third interview happens, right? He's like, hey, so this one's gonna be a little bit hard. They're gonna be I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna answer like, all right, cool. I knocked that one out the park. All right. So then the fourth interview happens, and guess what? My friend calls me back again. He says, okay, now for this one, this was gonna be a little bit tricky. I'm like, okay, how this gonna be a little bit tricky? Okay, listen, bro, this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna ask you. I'm like, okay, all right. And then you gotta answer like, I'm like, okay, cool. So I go to the interview. I'm like, hey, so it's, and guess what? I knocked that one out the park too. So I'm like, okay, cool. But of course, after the interview, I get a little bit nervous. So, I'm like, hey, I hit my friend up. Hey, what's up, bro? I'm like, hey, bro. So, I'm not trying to pry, but how did the interview go? Oh, bro, you knocked out the park because you answered how I told you to. I'm like, okay, cool. I just haven't heard anything yet. Oh, hey, bro, these things take time. Okay. I'm like, okay. I completely understand. Is there anything I should do? I already set the follow up letter. Like, hey, bro, you're good. Just chill, bro. Listen, we got you. You got the job. I'm like, oh, I got the job. I mean, not officially yet, but bro, trust me, we got you. I'm like, okay, cool. A week, 2 weeks, nothing. And of course, I'm trying to be chill. I'm trying to play it super coy. I don't hear anything back. And then I finally get that dreaded email in my inbox saying, we are happy that you applied for this position, but we have regret to reform you. I'm sorry. But we are regretting to tell you that we are moving in a different direction. I'm like, I thought I got the job. What happened? So I hit my friend up. I said, hold on. I hit my friend up. He said, hey, what's up, bro? I said, bro, they just sent me a letter saying I didn't get the job. He was like, oh. I said, oh, nothing. What happened? He said, yeah, I forgot to tell you. So the owner's son had actually applied for the job and they already gave it to him. What do you mean they already gave it to him? Well, they kind of already had the position lined up when you got hired, but when you were going through the interview process. I'm like, wait, what? So you mean to tell me I just wasted my time with nothing? Why didn't you tell me? Bro, I didn't know. What do you mean you didn't know? Bro, I didn't know that the owner's son had applied for the position. The owner was very coy, very quiet. He said, put you through an interview process and he hired his son anyway. So you mean to tell me that I wasted my time applying for a position that was already given to someone else, but they wanted me to go through the position because? Bro, I don't know. And that's what happened. I was basically walking into a losing game. No, hold on. Let me rephrase that. I was walking into a game that I thought that I had that I thought I had all the answers for. It turns out I was playing a whole different game. And I think that's the truth Hereditary taps into that nobody wants to talk about. Sometimes the game is rigged before you even sit down at the table. Sometimes the forces working against you are bigger than your effort, bigger than your planning, bigger than your will to succeed. We love the narrative that hard work equals success. That if you just try hard enough, or if you're smart enough, or if you do it for long enough, you'll get there. And a lot of times, that's true. But guess what? A lot of times, it's not. And when it's not, we don't have a framework for that. We blame ourselves. We think we must have done something wrong. We replay the situation every again. We replay every decision looking for the mistake. What did we do wrong? But what if there was no mistake? What if you did everything you could and it still wasn't enough? What then? That's the dark truth at the center of Hereditary. Bad things happen and there was nothing you could have done. The grandmother's plan was older than Peter's. The cult's reach extended past every rational boundary Steve could have drawn. Charlie's fate was sealed before she was old enough to understand what fate meant, okay? Paimon was literally put inside of her at birth. They were dealing with something otherworldly, something beyond their scale. And no amount of human effort was going to outmaneuver a force that had been planning this since before they were born. I'm not trying to make you nihilistic. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I do think there's something strangely freeing about acknowledging the truth. You can do everything right and still lose, but that's still not an excuse that's still not an excuse to stop trying, but as a release from guilt of thinking every bad outcome is your fault. Because once you understand that, you move differently. You stop trying to control everything. You stop blaming yourself for every outcome. You start making peace with the fact that some things are simply beyond your reach. And this is something that I still work on every day myself. I would say that the Grant's family tragedy isn't that they failed. It's that failure was the only option. And maybe that's just something that we have to come to terms with ourselves. That sometimes the forces against you are simply too big. And maybe that's the first step to not being owned by them. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.